Hello guys, this is DSJ Studios and welcome to my review of Black Panther.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up.
Going into this film, I was thinking I was going to get a lot of mentions about their race and a lot of sort of things that Bright tried to do in saying, you know, things like, you white people are weird, or anything like that. And I was wrong. Because that does appear, I'll admit. But it's not shoved down your throat in any way. It is subtle little things that appear. There's only a few of them, and they're quite easy to spot, but they're bearable. And when you get immersed into this film about the second act, you are loving this film. And I was so surprised by what they did at the end, the end act and that entire fight. It just was not what I was expecting. I was expecting something very base, very safe, very simple, and we got something a lot better than what I expected. Black Panther is the story of T'Challa as he tries to develop into a king and tries to juggle his responsibilities and try to defeat anything that may try to take his throne. The setting to this film is just amazing. Like, you can't fault it. It looks great, and you are so immersed into this world once they've created it in the first 20 minutes of the film that you feel like you've known it for a long time, and it feels so developed, and you have to congratulate the filmmakers on that. The costumes to this film are great. The entire culture as well is presented amazingly, and that some of the direction is brilliant as well. You really need to give credit to Ryan Coogler, I think his name is. I think I'll put it down here. But he is a brilliant filmmaker, and he put so much passion into the film, and there are so many amazing shots. There's the long shots, there's a few long shots during action scenes which are really brilliant to watch. So two of my favourite characters in this film were T'Challa, played by Chadwick Boseman, and Eric Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan. These characters were probably the best. T'Challa was so conflicting that I felt so much for him, and I really liked the character so much more in this film than I did in Civil War. For Killmonger, I loved him as a villain. He's probably one of my favourite villains. He's really, really good. He's a brilliant performance by him, and such a conflicting and interesting and morally brilliant story about the villain and his righteousness and how he could do this, and he believes what he is correct and not to be judged by anyone else. And actually, he even has a point. He's definitely relatable, and he's a relatable villain.
My son, it is your time.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
This film has some really interesting themes. Now, it has the theme of responsibility and becoming able to take on all of that responsibility in the form of a kingdom, I suppose, of Wakanda, and trying to then juggle relations and everything like that, and conflicts and everything, and trying to control all of that is what this film makes T'Challa do a lot of. The second theme is the theme of race, and not just race, but the theme of poverty and giving aid to lower third world countries and things like that then drive this movie, because the racist part talks about how we shouldn't, basically it talks about the slave trade type stuff and how the Wakanda has enough weapons and everything to save these people who are in skin the same as them. So they have the weapons, but they don't want to get discovered, so they can't go and do so. When I was trying to think about a negative for this film, I was thinking mostly about the pacing. I was thinking, the pacing towards the end is really good. In the second and third act, there was no fault in that pacing. However, the first act, maybe. The first act, it has a very shaky start. There's action scenes, but they don't feel very invested. They feel like they're just there to sort of get you into the story almost, to sort of... They're not really related too much to the story, so they're not that important. In fact, I've forgotten about it because of all the other stuff that happens later on in the film. But all of this does lead to a great point at the end, a great third act, and a great second act, in fact, which is brilliant.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. What's going on forever? The revolution will not be televised.
My verdict of this film is that Black Panther is a great film. If it wasn't for that 20 minutes, it would be close to perfection. This film includes some brilliant special effects and action scenes that are amazing to just watch, and must have taken many, many hours to create. The film also includes some relevant and interesting themes, as well as some morals as well, which I really wasn't expecting, but are much appreciated in the film. If you enjoy comic book films, you'll definitely enjoy this film. This film is definitely going to be one of my favourites. The villain is brilliant in it, and I think that the villain actually makes this one of my favourite films. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye.
The revolution will be live.